On November 5, 2024, all eligible citizens of the United States will cast their votes to elect a new government, with the main focus on selecting the next president. Incumbent President Joe Biden is not seeking re-election, and his term will conclude on January 20, 2025 at 12 p.m. EST. U.S. elections hold global significance, capturing attention from people worldwide. This is why I've decided to create an impartial guide aimed at helping non-Americans, including myself, better understand the upcoming election day. I won't deny that I have a personal preference, but as a non-voter, my role isn't to influence anyone politically. Those in my audience who are eligible voters are fully capable of making their own decisions without guidance from a history YouTuber in Germany. I therefore won't comment on any candidate in a judgmental way, and I hope we can maintain a respectful tone in the comments. I understand that emotions can run high during elections, but in my experience, YouTube comments are not the best outlet for venting feelings. I'm also glad to have American viewers joining this video, though I'm aware that I may not share much that is new to them. My focus will be on providing essential information and explaining terms unique to the US electoral process, which may be unfamiliar to those in Europe. On November 5th, not only will voters choose a new president and vice president, but they will also elect representatives for the House of Representatives and 1/3 of the Senate. Almost all state legislatures will be re-elected as well, with the exceptions of Alabama, Maryland, Louisiana, Mississippi, New Jersey, and Virginia. Additionally, 11 gubernatorial races will take place, with governors serving as the heads of state governments. Numerous local offices, such as municipal positions, will also be filled. In total, around 50,000 positions will be decided on November 5th. In this guide, I'll focus on the presidential election. Still, it's important to remember that the day's elections cover much more than the presidency. They include positions from sheriffs and judges to dog catchers and legislators. President Biden is a Democrat, and his party's candidate for the presidency is current Vice President Kamala Harris. She is running with Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, as her vice presidential candidate. This pairing of presidential and vice presidential candidates is known as a ticket. Originally, U.S. voters elected only the president, with the runner-up becoming vice president. However, this arrangement didn't foster cooperative governance, so in the 19th century, the system changed. Presidential and vice presidential candidates now run together as a single ticket. For the Republican Party, the other major political party in the U.S., former President Donald Trump, who served from January 2017 to January 2021, is running again. He has chosen J.D. Vance, one of Ohio's U.S. senators, as his vice presidential running mate. On election night, each party is typically identified by a color: blue for Democrats and red for Republicans. For non-Americans, it can be surprising to see red associated with the right-leaning Republicans, as red often represents left-leaning parties in most other parts of the world. In addition to Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, several other candidates are running for president, though they have no realistic chance of winning due to the U.S. electoral system. The president is elected indirectly through a system of electors chosen by each state's voters. In a free and secret ballot, citizens select electors who will meet in mid-December in their state capitals to cast official votes for the president. The voting process follows a winner-takes-all rule in almost every state, meaning that all electors from a state must vote for the candidate who won the most votes in that state. The number of electors a state has is based on its population, with California holding the largest number at 54. In total, there are 538 electors, and the candidate who secures 270 or more becomes the president. Only the Democratic and Republican parties have the resources to place their candidates on the ballot in all states, enabling them to conduct nationwide campaigns and receive enough voter attention. While it is theoretically possible for a third-party candidate to win, in practice, the next US president will be either Donald Trump or Kamala Harris. This electoral system, known as the Electoral College, leads to some states being considered irrelevant in presidential elections due to their overwhelming majority of Democratic or Republican voters. For example, Harris is virtually guaranteed to win California, while Trump is expected to win Florida. As it stands, Democrats are projected to secure around 225 electoral votes, while Republicans can reliably count on about 220. Therefore, the outcome hinges on states where the result remains uncertain, referred to as swing states or purple states. In the 2024 election, these states are considered pivotal swing states: Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. To address a frequently asked question, electors are legally required to vote according to their state's results and face penalties if they attempt to vote otherwise. Ideally, we would know the winner of the presidential election by the night of November 5th or early on November 6th. However, in 2020, results were extremely close in several states, leading to recounts and even court reviews, which delayed the final outcome. It's quite possible that a similar situation could arise in 2024, meaning it may take days or even weeks before the results are officially confirmed. One key factor is that the United States does not have a national election committee. Each state organizes its own elections according to state laws and certifies the results independently. The Secretary of State of each state oversees the election process, and in most states, the governor officially certifies the result with a signature. Each party proposes a slate of electors, and when a candidate wins in a state, the electors proposed by that candidate's party are selected as the state's official electors. In early January, the U.S. Congress must then certify the electoral results. For Congress to formally question and vote on a state's result, a representative and a senator must jointly object to it. If this occurs, the House of Representatives and the Senate each vote separately on the objection, and both chambers must reach a majority vote to uphold it. Such an outcome is highly unlikely, however. Moreover, Americans also use the same ballot to elect many other officials besides the president. This means that if members of the House were to challenge the ballots, they would effectively be questioning the same ballots that secured their own seats in Congress. Early voting. In the US, voters have the option to cast their ballots before Election Day. Many voting centers open early, with exact dates depending on state regulations. On average, early voting is available 2 to 4 weeks before the official election date. Vote by mail-in ballot. For those who prefer not to vote in person, mail-in voting offers an alternative. Vote by mail and mail-in ballot are interchangeable terms. In most states, mail-in voting begins at the same time as early voting, with all ballots received by Election Day included in the count. Red shift and blue shift. These terms describe shifts in vote counts as ballots are tallied. In a red shift, the Democratic candidate may initially lead, but is eventually overtaken by the Republican. In a blue shift, the opposite happens, with Republicans initially leading, but Democrats closing the gap as more ballots are counted. This pattern arises because states vary in how they count early and mail-in votes, which tend to favor Democrats, while in-person votes on Election Day typically lean Republican. For example, Texas, a red shift state, counts mail-in and early votes first, often giving Democratic candidates an initial lead. Georgia in 2020 showed a blue shift, where Republicans led early, but Democrats gained ground as mail-in ballots were counted, similar to other northern swing states. Too close to call. Too close to call is a common phrase in U.S. election coverage, meaning candidates are neck and neck in a particular state, making it impossible to predict a winner. The media may wait until more votes are counted to make a projection or occasionally offer a forecast if the margins allow. GOP and Liberals. GOP stands for the Grand Old Party, another term for the Republican Party frequently used on Election Day. In the U.S., liberals often refers to the political left, particularly Democrats, a notable difference from European usage. Endorsement in the U.S., prominent individuals from various sectors commonly make public endorsements or official recommendations for candidates. Though debated, endorsements have a significant impact, aiding in fundraising and voter mobilization. For the 2024 election, high-profile endorsements include Elon Musk for Trump and Taylor Swift for Harris. Registered to vote. To vote in the U.S., one must be registered on their state's voter list. Voters may also indicate party affiliation, though they are free to vote for any candidate. In many states, voters can register on Election Day, though candidates strongly encourage checking registration status early. One final tip for anyone watching a U.S. election for the first time. Patience is key. Election night will be long no matter what happens. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to support this channel.